everyone and welcome! A week ago we got some interesting news coming from the technical side of Riot. And I noticed that no one is talking about it, so I figured I might as well be the one who shows you the magic behind Champion's development. Specifically, the development of spell animations and spell effects. While Kayn was still in production, at the same time Riot was pushing out their new tool for spell effects. A tool that would eventually speed up spell animation. To give you an idea of how inefficient the old system for VFX was, whenever an artist made a change to a spell that wouldn't look good, they would have to recreate the old spell again because the system had no undo button. Every mistake was permanent. This made it scary for the artists to experiment, since they would lose all their old progress. Also, the old system had no preview. So while the artists were making the spells, they also had to keep the game running, save their effect, and wait for it to reload every time they wanted to see the results of their work. But let's now look at how exactly their old and new tools looked. Without joking, this was the loading screen for their old tool. Yes, it was called Syrup. And yes, that is a taco. And yes, that is a cartoon taco standing on the taco. So this was the old tool. To normal people like you and me, this looks a bit chaotic. But the more you look at it, the more you figure out what button does what. The problem with this tool is that it had features that the artists were not using. And on the other side, it didn't have features they needed. So inspired by the old UI, they created their new tool. They called it the Particle Town. Immediately you can see it is cleaner and simpler, and it has a preview window. If you are now asking why would spell effects be such a high priority, or why would they have to make a new tool for them, well, that's because League of Legends currently has 110,000 different spell effects. And for a lot of champions, it is the spell effects that make them so satisfying to play. So let's now look at the more interesting part of VFX art. The actual spells. Because their new tool allows them to change, recolor, warp and combine all effects quickly, they can create something like this with no problem. And especially with this transformation animation, you can see that there is a lot of different spells combined in one. Spell effects that had to be created separately and then meshed together. An example is the ominous glow on Kayn's scythe. Alone it doesn't look that special, but when slapped onto the eye of the blade it makes it all more alive. One of the reasons why Kayn specifically is VFX heavy is because he was the very first test subject for the Particle Town. His ultimate was a perfect opportunity to test how effective having a preview window is. His ultimate can be cast in any direction. This means that it had to be tested for visual quality in every direction. Previously, the artist would have to load the game, select a target, cast the spell on it, move the target, cast it again, and repeat until they have seen it from all angles. Now with the preview window, they can just move the target around and see it play live in any direction. Another example of its usefulness is the on-hit effect on Kayn's Q. They had to make two versions of it, one with blood and one without blood, because there are requirements for different regions. Normally, the VFX artist would have to load the game to see the effect. Now they could just toggle censored mode in the preview window. But the spell effects would be nothing without animation. As we saw before, the glowing eye on Kayn's blade would be nothing if it didn't move. And since we are talking about spells, I want to show you pretty cool trickery the animators can do to make things look more polished. But to truly appreciate how awesome this trick is, you have to know that the champion animations and spell effects are two separate things. Champion's animations are directly connected to the champion's model. Spell effects, however, can play on their own, technically anytime on any champion if the artist tells the game to do so. Sometimes the animation artists can avoid the need of VFX for spells if they animate the champion well. This is mostly done through something called stretching. I believe it was first implemented into League with the release of Darius, but the first time it was really put to use was with Poppy. Look at this animation for example. The blur effect on the hammer gives it extra punch. Except when we freeze the animation, we realize that there is no blur effect. This was achieved purely by stretching the model of her hammer. By doing this, the animator avoided the need of slashing lines to follow the weapon's movement. An example of a champion that is using slashing lines is Yasuo. Every auto attack has a white line behind the blade to support the slicing motion. While this could technically be achieved by stretching the tip of the blade without the need of outside effects, this would give Yasuo unwanted cartoon look. It works for Poppy perfectly because she is really goofy and it fits her style. Stretching rarely looks good on more serious characters. The reason why Darius is using stretching is because the animators wanted to highlight his X for few more frames before bringing it down. His body kept moving down while his X stayed in the air. This made his arms stretch, and it all plays so fast you wouldn't notice it in game. The same goes for Trundle. His bite animation ridiculously enlarges his head to make the bite look more powerful, but it looks normal in game because it is there for a frame or two. And that's all I wanted to show you today. I noticed that not a lot of people are covering this cool technical side of Riot, so I decided to be one of the people to show you this unexplored background. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to rate it as you want and subscribe for some lore. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Discord if you'd like to chat. Thank you all so much for being here and for your support, you know I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you, come again.